What was that stat?
19.3,
Last four
right?
tournament games, shot 80% and is averaging 19.3, I think.
Wow.
The last four.
Thank you.
James will announce it. The reigning tournament MOP. 19-3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she played the one game that they played 4 points for freshman. I don't know. The one game she played as a freshman only had like 9 points, so I took that out of the averages. The last 4.
Only 9.
But other ones were 12 and the rest were over 20.
This is like 12,
12, 21, 20,
yes,
and then 24. Yeah. Because when I did the math the first time, she was at 22 and then scored right after I.
Correct. You want to sit here?
No.
Oh, that's fine.
It's a season high for her too, the 26.
She finished with 26.
Season high of 26, yep. That's what she finished with. She's 2 off her career high,
Okay.
which was 28 against Creighton last year, March 6th, which was in the tournament.
That's fair, yeah.
That's the semifinal, right?
Tournament ticket punched at the buzzer. Bradford winning the Big South Championship at the buzzer.
Wow. Tis the season.
It's weird hearing that already. It's like, oh wow, it is March.
Oh, look at this. For the tournament.
A 3-pointer. Wow.
Jerome. Contest.
Mm. Did you? Wow. You're on a roll.
Is there like 25 minutes between games? 25, 30 minutes?
It's a minimum.
20 on the
Yeah. The introductions, yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be closer to 30 for this one.
I
Yeah.
was just curious.
Seventh of all league and a freshman of the year.
Oh, wow. Pull. There he goes. It's like, wait, he's been in this room before.
I was gonna say.
Brad, it's only the first quarterfinal. You got 3 more to go.
Clark, you can come in. You guys are up first. You guys are up first. Go on, come in. You want to come in? We're on first. Yeah, okay. All right. Haley, no, you're good. Getting their way.
Great.
Same thing, student athletes first.
Same thing. Yep. Opening statement from coach. Questions for the athletes. Let them go. Questions for coach. And name and affiliation. Got to introduce yourself. Because nobody knows who you are. And I'll go to Fred Jones, Big East Digital Network. You should be Fred Jones today.
What's that?
You should be Fred Jones today.
Okay.
Let's change up your name.
Is she available too?
Big time, Monty.
All right, welcome back to the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep here in Chicago at Wintrust Arena. Congratulations to top-seeded Marquette on to the semifinals tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central here at Wintrust on FS1. 73-61 victory over number 8 seed Butler here in the quarterfinals to kick things off today. A couple notes about our players here up on the dais. Amani Wilborn and Natisha Heidemann, and also Carolyn Keeger, head coach of Marquette, is here as well. So Heidemann with 15 points in this game here today. Amani Wilborn with 26 points. That's a season high for her. Just 2 points off of her career high, which came in this very tournament last year in a game against Creighton when she had 28. In her last 4 Big East tournament games, she's shooting 80% from the floor and averaging 19.3 points per game in those 4 contests. So welcome to the Amani Wilborn show. Second straight semifinal appearance for the Marquette Golden Eagles. We'll start off with an opening statement from Coach, then Q&A for Amani and Natisha, and then we'll excuse them and we'll take questions for Coach. But first off, we'll do an opening statement from Coach. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate Butler. I thought they did a fantastic job. They played great yesterday and obviously took us out of our rhythm for majority of the game. I thought our team handled adversity really well today. Obviously, we didn't play our best game, but we got our jitters out of the way. We got used to the rims, and I thought our defense held steady there and really got the momentum going with our press. And obviously, Amani Wilborn, if you don't know, it's also her birthday month, so I think that might have something to do with it. But obviously, I can't say enough about her. She led our team in pretty much every category tonight, and I thought her confidence was through the roof. And just watching her play today, it made me more confident. So I give a lot of credit to her. But in terms of a team, great team win. We had some huge plays from everybody tonight. Everybody stepped up in big time moments when we needed it. But I'm proud of our maturity down the stretch.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions. Just raise your hand. We have a wireless mic, and we'll get it over to you. Pam will get it to you, and then we just ask that you introduce yourself with name and affiliation.
John Fan.
Yep, we're on.
John Fanta from the Big East Digital Network. Natisha and Coach just brought up about your maturity. Was this sort of a game that exemplifies what you guys have gone through this year, where you're always having a target on your backs and you found a way today?
Yeah, I think our coach does a great job, just replicating it in practice, putting us in tough situations, and that's how we basically handle adversity today. I think she prepared us really well, and the outcome showed.
Amani, why were you able to have so much success today?
I give a lot of credit to the coaching staff and my teammates. Just we've been preaching confidence and having swag the whole 40 minutes.
Is there something about the Big East tournament? Because you're on a roll in Big East tournament games. You love the bright lights?
I love March period, just being born in March and just March Madness. I just love the whole thing.
And then how much did last year's run really help you prepare for this game and kind of result in that 26-point performance?
Who's that? Oh, that's for Amani.
Amani.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I think just knowing last year, just teams would sag off, and we got so many scorers, they really can't pick one person to just target. So just all of our team being scorers, I think that just helped a lot.
Go right here in the front row. And name and affiliation.
Charlie Goldsmith, her hoop stats. Amani, obviously you're a talented scorer. You're also in the top 10% of the country in assists. How do you try to set a tone on the court, and what are you looking to do as both the scorer and the distributor?
I kind of just go with the flow. Whatever I see, if I have the open shot, I try to take it. I always look to create for my teammates, though. I was a point guard in high school, so that was just like my first thing, to look for my teammates. So playmaker, whether I score or my teammates score, is the way.
Any other questions for the athletes? Raise your hand. We'll get you the microphone. Again, name and affiliation, please.
Yeah, I'm Dean Bibbins, Marquette Wire Sports. Natisha, can you just talk about what Butler did to really limit you and Alizé in the first half? You guys shot 3 of 14 combined.
I would just say that their zone probably got us a little bit, and we needed to attack it more.
Anything else? Great, ladies. Thank you very much. Michael
Thank
will
you.
take you back to the locker room. Congratulations.
What's up, ladies?
We'll get reset here, and we'll take questions for Coach.
Birthday month.
We start with John.
Yeah, John Phantom from Big East Digital Network. Coach, how does this maybe feel different from where you were a year ago? Obviously, there's a location change, but just with your overall team.
I think, playing on the road is obviously different. This group, I think it's going to help us or help prepare us for postseason in general. It just feels more like a conference tournament for us, that we're not sleeping in our own beds in our own arena. So obviously to get used to that. So this was a great first game for us to get used to that. And obviously we've never been in this arena before. It's gorgeous. We had a great fan base come down for the game tonight. But in terms of feeling different, I just think that we understand how to win ball games in different ways. Last year it might have been just push and pace. This year our defense can do it. Our rotations, and I think that's what I'm most proud of, is we've evolved as a team. When our offense isn't going well, we're not shooting the three well then let's get some turnovers. And I think for us that shows our growth.
What's life like in a huddle with this Marquette team, knowing that these ladies have been through this kind of stage before? Is there more, in their hands in a run like this?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because there was a timeout tonight where I felt I was doing all the talking and they were just head nodding. And at one point I said, I need dialogue. I need more back and forth conversations. Tell me what you're seeing. Tell me what you're feeling. And I think once that kind of happened, they started to get more engaged in the game, and then the timeout started to be more of a collective unit versus me just getting after them or whatnot. So that's another part of the maturity that I'm starting to see in the accountability and them working through situations versus just me telling them what to do.
Right here in the front.
John Steffi, Marquette Wire. So Amani, again with that 26-point performance, she's done it before. Anything different you've seen this time around?
I would say the way she's just stepping up into her three. It might have been last year that she would hesitate a little bit first and then let it fly. Tonight she stepped into a couple, that she knew she was shooting it, and she was confident with it. She held her follow through. So I think that's the biggest difference right now, is the way she's shooting the three. Obviously she's always been a fantastic finisher around the rim.
And then she seemed to have a lot of success, especially relative to Natisha and Alizé. Anything in particular that you saw kind of in defense that led to Wilborn's success instead of
They were giving us a three all night, anybody, and I think she was the one who stepped up the most confidently and just let it fly. And, even Natisha, she struggled 3 for 10, but she hit a huge one and she stayed in it and stayed engaged. So I think Amani just did a good job of feeling out the game.
Thank you.
Right here in the corner.
All season, you guys have been able to hold opponents to low effective field goal percentage, low true shooting. After a rough first half on both ends of the floor, how are you able to re-engage defensively and take control in the second half?
Well, I think the first half, they were just dribbling it in the paint every single time. And I challenged them at halftime. I said, clearly they think we can't play one-on-one defense right now because they're bringing it to us. And I said, this is a pride thing, our one-on-one defense. And I think our kids started to compete a little bit more, and they started to have one-on-one accountability. But that first half, everything was in the paint. I think they were 1 for 4 at the time for shooting threes, and they only had 3 assists, so everything was off the dribble. So we talked a lot about that at halftime and trying to make them more so playmakers than drivers.
Right here in the front.
And Coach, you shot a lot of threes today. You shot 29 in total. Do you think that was part of Butler's strategy to kind of give you guys the outside shot and force you guys to maybe take more, just continue more in the paint, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. They packed the paint. They wanted to keep us, out of our driving attacks off ball screens, and that was their game plan. I think we settled a little bit too much at times for threes, and when we shot them, second half we seemed a little bit more confident, but out of our rhythm. So we'll try to fix that in film tonight, sessions, and just make sure that we're confident regardless of what the defense is giving us.
Coach, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you. John Stebbing. I'm good, how are you? We were with Andrew Goldstein. Yeah.
Butler coming in here too?
Yes,
They are.
We're going back and forth each time. So today we took the train, then we'll have a third person here tomorrow, so then that person will drive. So it's a pretty easy thing.
Yeah.
Hour half.
Yeah, was that mic still on? Sounded a
And
little
then we
light.
walk in unison, so it wasn't
As long as
bad.
it's being captured, it's not for
Then
sound,
when
it's
it's
for
35,
Got it.
40 degrees,
sound
I think
and
that.
recording.
So.
for sure.
All right, joining us on the dais, we have head coach Kurt Godlewski from Butler, also Michelle Weaver and Tori Schickel, student athletes. Same procedure, we'll do an opening statement from coach, and then we'll open it up to Q&A for the athletes. We'll excuse them, and then we'll open it up to questions for coach. And once again, name and affiliation, just raise your hand when you have a question, and Pam will get the microphone over to you. We'll start with an opening statement from Kurt.
Really proud of our effort that we gave tonight. I thought we gave ourselves an opportunity against a very good ball club in Marquette, a very well coached team, and couldn't be prouder of how our girls stuck with our game plan of really protecting the paint and making Marquette really work for everything that they got. We had a 20-plus turnaround in the rebound category this time around, and couldn't be more excited about how we finished and how we played. And you got to give Marquette a lot of credit. I don't think we had any lapses down the stretch. I just think that they made plays, and so we're obviously disappointed that we lost, but we're looking forward to big and brighter things in the future.
Questions for the athletes?
John Fanta, Big East Digital Network. Tori, is this a day where, as a junior, both of you, where you can go in the off season and say, here's what we're capable of?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we showed today, we're very capable of playing with anybody in this league. There are just a few things that we have to touch up, and during the off season, conditioning-wise, I feel like it's a different game if we come in fresh. Things go our way a little more, but just working on those little things in the off season and then working to get back here and put ourselves in a really good situation.
Michelle, what was the key for you guys on the defensive end of the floor to keep them from breaking out in this game until the very end?
We really focused on packing it into the paint because we know they really like to drive and kick, and I think we did a really good job of that. And Wilborn was great from the three-point line, so she kind of killed us out there. But other than that, we really stuck to our game plan, and I think we did really well at that, just packing in the paint and not letting them drive and score from there.
John Steppe from Marquette Wire. Tori, 6 turnovers. Did Marquette present something different this time than previous 2 matchups, and why was it so hard to react to?
Yeah, I think they were kind of they were double teaming at first and then kind of going back, so it kind of threw me off a little, but I really just needed to calm down and just kind of
really look at that and be able to read that. And it was something in the second half that was more, just take the player one-on-one as soon as it happens instead of waiting for the double team to come and then for them to get back.
Michelle, what's the offseason mindset for this group?
I think it's kind of just kind of like what Tori said earlier, is that we know we can play with anybody, so just keeping that mindset there that we can, and just working hard because we have a couple new girls coming in next year, so getting them into the mix of things and just keep learning to play together, and because that's when we play best, is when we are playing together, so just keeping that up.
Anything else for the athletes? Thank you, ladies. Mackenzie will take you back to the locker room. We'll get reset here, and we'll take questions for Coach. Okay, will we start with John?
Coach, you look at this tournament field, and that did not look like a 1-8 matchup, right? I mean, can you speak to sort of the league and what a matchup like that was to start the quarterfinal day?
I think it goes and speaks volumes about the Big East in general. We knew even with playing Providence in our first matchup last night that it was going to be no gimme. Very good basketball teams. And in our league, it comes down to a lot about matchups. And for some reason, we match up very well with Marquette and have in both games. Even the second game at Hinkle, we had a 16-8 lead at some point throughout the first quarter, and that was without Michelle. Played the game without her. So, we have opportunities to continue to grow in those areas, and I just think it really comes down to matchups, and we seem to just match up really well with Marquette.
Is this the type of stage where I know it's tough to think about this in the moment of what just a tough loss, but where you see the setup for your program and you're thinking about that next step, where maybe a year from now in a game like this, that final 4 minutes could swing the other way?
Yeah, I believe that, and I mentioned it a little bit last night. We've come a long ways with this program in terms of where we started from. Next year we're going to have a tremendous amount of depth and a variety of more skilled players that are redshirting this year. So obviously our future and our goals will be a lot different than they were this year coming in, and that's based on what we've done and what we've accomplished throughout this season.
And then, as Michelle alluded to, really Imani killed you guys from long distance. Is that something you guys just weren't expecting, or they did something different, or what kind of led to that?
She's a 25% three-point shooter. She just had one of those nights, and we kind of played the numbers and played the odds, and we did that with really all of them, and have done that all season with how we defended them. But Imani made the big shots, and we put her in those situations, and she was a player and made those plays. So you have to tip your cap to her.
And then a 22-5 scoring advantage for Marquette off turnovers. Was the team just slow to react on the fast break, or what led to that?
Just a huge strength of Marquette. It was something that we were trying to avoid coming into this game. Live ball turnovers, because they make you pay for them. And at Hinkle in our second game, they really made us pay for them. So we were really trying to be conservative with the basketball, making sure that we took care of it. Tori mentioned a little bit about that with the double team. I think she just played a little bit too fast. She only ended up with 2 in the second half. So she settled down and just became more of a scorer instead of thinking pass first, and she gets into that habit. She's an unselfish player. But we really tried to avoid those live ball turnovers because Marquette does such a fantastic job of transitioning and scoring out of them.
Thank you.
Anything else for Coach? Hey, Coach, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Can you tell me a story up here on the microphone?
There once was this man named John Fanta. Oh, there was another John Fanta. There's another John Fanta in another world. I know. Do you still need a story or? He's very big on the stats and analytics. That he was saying yesterday. That's what their website is all geared to. It's all analytics. How about that though? 80% from the floor in her last 4 tournament games.
As a guard.
That's incredible.
It's not like she's, shickled and just putting in
It's amazing.
layups and no shots.
That's incredible. I heard hospitality was more food was put out apparently.
Oh, just now?
Oh yeah, I would like to head up. But what happens is when the game starts, they draw the curtains. They didn't do it for game 1. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna use the restroom quickly and then I'll go up.
I think I'll do the same.
I
wanna
want to watch this game in person.
I do too. Yeah, I want to stop.
Break it down with ball screen, slashing. Joe Tardamella, man. He's had success in this tournament, as has Brady.
Yeah,